Hey everyone, it's Professor Norwood. Welcome to English 1520, section R8104, I believe. I have a couple of sections of 1520 going on this summer, but this video is just for you. All right. And really, I just wanted to take you through just some of the functions of D2L and go over the syllabus and how to acquire the textbook and then get yourself registered for this class as far as the textbook is concerned. The textbook is relatively cheap. You might even be able to get by with a trial version, but we'll see how it goes. All right. So let me go on the screen share real quick. Okay. So here's our D2L page. Given that you're in Comp 2, um, I'm gonna assume that many of you have taken Comp 1 and are therefore familiar with D2L. But if not, you can access D through D2L. Just go to OCC's homepage. It's fairly simple to navigate from there. Um, and then just get yourself signed into our class page. Also, I do recommend bookmarking D2L if you haven't already. And given that you're going to be using it so much, also maybe bookmark your OCC email address. Again, if you're going to be sticking around OCC for a while, I know some of you may just be, taking a summer class here, which is cool. All right. So here's our page. Okay. And this is where the announcements will be, obviously. All right. And I do tend to update, fairly regularly, especially, during asynchronous sessions. All right. But firstly, okay, click here, course information. And that'll take you here. Okay. I'm just going to go right to the syllabus. All right. There's a couple ways to view this. One, you can just click right on it. And it opens here. Also, if you want to print this thing, hit this drop down and go download, or you can just go down here and hit download. And both of these, I'm thinking will download it as a Word doc. And you guys have access to Word for free. I'll show you how to access that momentarily. All right. Um, Mine is I already have it open as a Word doc, so I'm just gonna go right to it here. All right. Bam. Okay. It should be 104 there. All right. So here's a syllabus. 103 is one of my other sections of 1520. All right. Instructor information, Quincy Norwood. I usually just go by Norwood or Professor Norwood. In my in-person classes, I encourage folks to use my first name, but folks don't do it. So whatever makes you comfortable. All right. Email address QTNORWOO. Okay. Make sure that you're putting Norwoo instead of Norwood. All right. At oaklandcc.edu. Also, because of FERPA guidelines, Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, if you send me an email, all right, please send it from your OCC email account. That way we can have some verification that is actually you. All right, because per FERPA, faculty isn't allowed to share your information with anyone, your progress and all that good stuff. All right. Office hours. I'm just doing virtual office hours this summer. I don't have any in-person sessions, in-person sections. So if you want to, have some office time or you want to set up a quick Zoom session, I'm happy to do it. Just shoot me an email and we'll work it out. All right. Course information. This is section R8104. Meeting days and times at asynchronous. Make sure you're checking D2L regularly. All right. Remote classrooms wherever you want it to be. All right. Hopefully it's outdoors. Weather's getting a little bit nicer. All right. Course catalog description. This is right from the catalog. Students will write persuasive and argumentative papers. That is our drive this summer. Okay. Writing persuasive and argumentative papers. If you had Comp 1, in most Comp 1s, the focus is on like skill building. But in Con 2, we're about the application of those skills. All right, for the most part. They will acquire skills in library research and use a process that includes critical thinking, definitely. All right, logical reasoning, absolutely. And investigation of primary and or secondary sources. Students will write a documented academic research paper. All right. Most of what we do this summer will have some connection to this research paper that you're going to write. Also, if you put these together, critical thinking, logical reasoning, and investigation of primary and or secondary resources, all that kind of folds into information literacy. How to gather and evaluate information. That is something that it's going to be another push for us this summer. All right. Of course, prereqs, English 1510 or placement, gen ed outcomes, critical thinking. There's that phrase again, effective communication and information literacy. Okay. All vital skills that you'll need in life. You'll need to think critically, definitely. You need to be able to effectively communicate, whether it's written word or orally. And then you're going to need to know how to gather information. And this begins with knowing, I guess, understanding what you need to know, and then where to go find that information and what to do with it. All right. Common course outcomes. Students will make a specific claim and support it successfully with evidence and reasoning. Okay. Evidence and reasoning. All right. This class isn't about like ranting. It's not even really about an expression of, one's feelings. All right. Of course, as humans, we're emotional beings, and that's part of who we are. And some of that, will seep into our writing, but we're certainly going to stick more to like evidence and reasoning. Just imagine anytime you write something, imagine your reader saying to you, show me how that's true. All right. Show me how that's true, because I'm going to be saying it when I evaluate your material. Show me how that's true. Students will use credible sources. Okay, that's important. Credible sources. Your sources can determine the outcome of your argument. Students will use source material ethically without plagiarizing. Students will use grammar and mechanics correctly. Even though grammar mechanics is not the focus of this class, it is still something that we want to keep in mind, as our grammar and our mechanics can have some bearing on our credibility as writers and as arguers. All right, students will demonstrate a sense of audience that is appropriate to the topic and discipline. So just keeping our audience in mind as we write. What are the right words, to reach them most effectively? What tone do I want to strike with my audience? What do they need to know in order to understand what I'm going to say to them? All that good stuff. Okay. Required text, they say, I say, the moves that matter in academic writing. Um, the ebook is just fine, especially since we are in a summer class where, it's kind of a reduced schedule. The ebook is just fine, and it's way cheaper. I don't know about way cheaper, but it's cheaper than a hard copy. All right, and there's a couple ways to get this. I'll show you how to get it right from the syllabus. You just hold down Control and click the link. Okay, maybe not. Oh, there it is. All right. So this is our textbook, and you just want to go purchase options. Okay. And bam, here it is. All right. I don't know if it'll let me go any further than this because I already have the book. So I'll go as far as I can. Okay. So once you're here, you just want to go, I want to purchase access. It'll walk you through it. Or I want to sign up for 21 days of trial access. Or if you bought the book from our bookstore, okay, it should have come brand new, shrink wrapped with the registration code on the inside. If you did that, open your book, it comes with the scratch off code, scratch that off, put that in here. Okay. Otherwise, I want to purchase access, or I want to sign up for 21 days of trial access. Okay. And then you'll have our book. All right. I will come back to this to show you how to add yourself, because there's an additional step you have to take once you purchase the book. I will come back to that. Okay. Wrong class. There we go. All right. I say e-text, inquisitive. Inquisitive, that comes with the book. And Word. Now I know a lot of people like to use Google Docs, PDFs or whatever. Open Office, that's cool. One thing that's not cool in this class is Pages. I'm on a Mac right now, but um D2L and Pages don't seem to get along. All right. So make sure when you're uploading your work that you are not using Pages. All right. Even though like it's the native, word processor for MacBooks. But yeah, don't use Pages, man. All right. Google Docs is okay, but really, you guys can use Word. Okay, it's free for students. All right. You just want to click this. It will take you here, hopefully. There we go. Okay. Now here's the catch, right? Got to use your school email address. That's the only way. It'll work with an email address that ends in edu. Put that in there, hit get started, and that'll walk you through the process. Okay. Now, once you make your account, you will have access to the online version of Word only at first. But once you're signed in, go to, I think it's in the top right or top left, the top left of your screen. There should be an icon that says install Office. All right, hit that, and then that downloads the entire suite to your computer. So take care of that business, and then Word should be yours, right? It's a legit copy. I've been using it for years and years and years. All right. So, and it has the other you know, Microsoft products like Excel, PowerPoint. So yeah, it's the whole suite. So get that. Okay. It's free for students. All right. Assessment policies and procedures, plagiarism. Okay, it is college policy that no student shall engage in behavior which, in the judgment of the instructor of the class, may be construed as academic dishonesty. This may include, but is not limited to, plagiarism, presenting another individual's ideas, data, words, images, or other products without giving credit to the originator, or other forms of academic dishonesty, such as the acquisition without permission of tests and other academic materials and or distribution of the same. This includes students who aid and abet, as well as those students who attempt such behavior. Plagiarized assignments will receive a 0. Okay. And just in the name of full transparency, I do share that when you submit an assignment, it goes through certain plagiarism checks, via D2L. And I have your assignment folders configured so you'll see your own percentage of it's called a Turnitin percentage, and it's just a reflection of how much outside material is in your paper. If the percentage is really low, like under 10, that's cool. If you're writing a research paper, it's probably going to be between like 15 and 20. Try to stay in the 10 to 15% range. That's the good spot. All right. But anything past 20 is going to be looking suspicious. And not to say that those papers are plagiarized, maybe you just overquoted and you need to add some of your own original words. That's fine. But just, keep a monitor of or monitor, how much of your resources that you're incorporating into your paper. You are going to need to bring in resources to support your material or to support your ideas, but just make sure you're using it as support, not to make the points for you. Also, don't buy papers online. They all look the same. Like the format of them is kind of a dead giveaway. The language is very professional and mechanical sounding. So don't buy a paper. Just, your own ideas and your own style is very much appreciated in this section. So don't feel like you have to do anything like that for this class. It's the same thing with AI papers. Now, Chat GPT and Bard and other AI, resources. They can be great, for like research purposes. They can be great, for other things. They can also be fun. I know I mess around with it in class a lot, in my in-person sections. Um, but what's not cool about it is if you're using it to like write your papers for you. Okay, because you can very easily go to one of these sites and ask it to draft a paper for you. But again, once you submit that paper, it is going to go through like AI checks. All right. And I get a report, that says, this paper has, 75% AI generated text. And then you and I will probably have some uncomfortable exchange about it. All right. So save yourself a lot of trouble by not, using AI to generate text for your papers. And that also includes Grammarly. Sometimes if you're dependent on like Grammarly text suggestions, that's going to raise your AI percentage. So again, like I would much rather hear what comes from you as opposed to a paper that was purchased online, something that's plagiarized, from your outside sources, or, something that's AI generated. All right. And often in my in-person sections, we'll draft something or we'll ask AI to draft something, and then we'll compare it to, something that was written by a human. And the differences are significant, if you know what to look for. All right. So the use of artificially generated text is strictly prohibited. All right. Strictly prohibited. Okay. Use of AI for brainstorming and generating ideas, it's permissible. However, please note that content generated by these programs may be inaccurate or incomplete. Always, always, always verify information generated by AI. Okay. So maybe you're on Chat GPT, you're researching and you ask it like, hey, Chat GPT, why should grocery stores not use, single-use plastic bags? And Chat GPT says, well, they're not biodegradable. Okay. And they're bad for the environment. You take that information and let that, put you on a research trail. Okay. Don't stop there. Say, oh, ChatGPT said they're bad for the environment, so that's going in my paper. No, use that as your springboard, all right, to go further, with your actual research. All right. Again, make these same demands of ChatGPT. Show me how that's true. All right. But again, you're gonna have to show yourself in your own research. Okay. Okay. You may not submit any work containing text generated by AI. Okay. It should be by AI. Clearly, I did not use AI for this. Okay. All right. It is plagiarism. All assignments will be subject to Turnitin AI detection. Okay. And again, so right now, the D2L folder, you all cannot see your AI percentage. But if it's high and it's an issue, I will send you the report. All right. And in that report, the AI generated text is going to be highlighted. All right. So you cannot see that, unfortunately. Hopefully they'll update that feature in D2L. But as of right now, I don't think you all can see your own AI percentage. All right, but I can. Okay. Code of conduct, be on time. That's kind of irrelevant. This is a copy paste job from the student handbook. Be on time. That's not really relevant in an asynchronous class. I will just say in an asynchronous section, stay up to date. All right. Spend time in class. And again, for us, we can just take this as just make sure you're committing time to your work. I know it's summer and you want to have a summer and you may have, a job, you may have family obligations, you may have other classes. Just make sure you're committing, enough time. And a helpful strategy could be to just, dedicate part of each day, hopefully at the same time, if your schedule works out, but dedicate part of your day to school. Okay. Could be first thing in the morning, could be sometime in the afternoon, evening, whatever works for you. But two things that are going to help you in online classes: one, just being consistent, and two, being self-motivated. Okay. and demonstrate high ethical standards, no plagiarism, remain in time, remain in class until dismissed. This again, if you say I'm going to commit, an hour, to English 15-20, stick to it. Okay. I guess keep your learning space quiet. All right. And then these last ones, just be respectful. Here again, we're kind of like at a reduced schedule, meaning I don't have as many assignments as I would in a 15-week class. So we are going to do a research paper that's half the grade, summary response essays, a quarter of the grade, your proposal and annotated bibliography for your research paper, 15%, and then inquisitive exercises and the discussion forum are both 5%. Okay. Again, I will come back to, this inquisitive thing. All right. Letter grades, blah, 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 blah. Same old, same old. In marks. If you don't have any activity in this class, meaning like you don't sign in, you don't author a discussion post, you don't submit an assignment, all right, within a week, you'll receive an N mark. An N does not affect your grade point average, but it does have some impact on your financial aid. So just make sure you show some activity in the class. Okay. FERPA, Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. FERPA just means I can't release any information about you to anyone but you. Like if someone emails me that's not you and says, "Hey, how such and such doing in your class?" I can't respond unless they're another OCC employee. But outside of that, like families, friends, parents, employers, I cannot speak to these folks. I can give you information and then you do whatever you want with it, but yes, your information is secure with me. All right, as far as like your progress in the class. Okay, ADA. Students requiring special assistance, including those affected by the Americans with Disabilities Act, should contact the Access Office, which will inform the instructor of any special conditions pertaining to their learning. I guess in an asynchronous environment, um, yeah, let Access know what you need, and then they'll let me know, and then I'm happy to make any accommodations. That's no problem at all. The ASC, they offer free tutoring and they offer some good workshops. I suggest checking them out. Um, Tech support. Now as far as like submitting assignments and navigating D2L, I can help you with that. But if you get locked out of your account for whatever reason, or you're just having issues signing in, that would be a tech support issue. So you can contact them. Blah, 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 blah. Tower, this is irrelevant for us. You're going to be using your own equipment. Netiquette, just be nice in the discussion forum. Be respectful of yourself. Be respectful of others. All right, public safety. This is more in-person stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so turn around. Most assignments will be turned around in 7 days. Okay. Email, I usually get back in 24 to 48 hours. In the summer, it's a little bit quicker because I'm not as busy. And again, teaching a lighter schedule. All right. And then here's our schedule, folks. Okay. Bam, bam, bam. All right. And for this week, all right, it seems like a lot of content, but it's not. It's just a few preliminary things. But if you go into content, all right, and here's where we were. This is the syllabus once again. Um, Here's some D2L tutorials. I actually have to change this because D2L has changed slightly from the time I made this. Here's how to get Office again, if you need it. All right. Here's just some quick MLA stuff. We're only going to be using MLA format in here. None of that APA or Chicago style nonsense. No, they're not nonsense. We just don't use them in here. All right. All right. If you need an example of how to set your paper up in D2L, not in D2L, in Word, in MLA. All right. Clearly it's summer. All right. You can just go here and get this thing open, and here you go. All right. And this is just an explanation of how to get the page numbers up here. but this is name, instructor name, class, and date. And the spacing is all uniform, and my margins are set to 1 inch. But that's easy stuff. Oops, I just wanted to quickly go over that. All right. And when we do have to do works cited pages, this is all that stuff. And this is actually a video of, a paper being, formatted using MLA formatting guidelines. All right. So if you ever get tired of the sound of my voice, there's more. All right. Now, all right. This is library stuff. You can go through that at your leisure. So here's our modules for this week. Okay. And again, it seems like a lot, but it's just stuff. Most of the stuff is just videos and handouts you can kind of go through independently. Like this one is about critical thinking. Make sure you look into all that stuff. Okay. Information literacy. Definitely look into this. All right. I'm going to add a discussion question about information literacy and critical thinking. So I'll add that to this module. All right. And then the summary response essay, which is our first assignment. Okay, you can just click that here. And here's an example of that assignment. It's based on a different article, but in principle, it's the same. Okay. And what is argument? Just kind of look through that, and I'll get rid of this as well. Look through this because this is kind of like foundational for our class, and there's an overview of the first chapter of our textbook. They say, I say, okay. So normally we won't go over. There won't be 4 modules per week, but there's just a lot that kind of get crammed into this first week. All right, now, okay, back to our textbook and inquisitive. Okay. If you click this, again, it'll take you back to where I was. Okay. But, and then you can click this, of course. I'm just going to go back to here. All right. Now, I'm already signed in, or excuse me, I already have an account. So I'm just going to get myself signed in. All right. And once you make an account and get yourself signed in, here's our textbook. And it's an identical copy of the physical book. All right. Here's our chapters. All right. You can highlight, just drag your mouse, over whatever you want to highlight. Um, you can also, no, I don't think this one has that function. There used to be a function where you could kind of turn this into an audio book. Um, it may still have the function. All right. But man, I always say just mess around, with the book. You're not going to break it. All right. So that is our textbook, and this is inquisitive. Okay. Now, in order to get yourself into our class, okay. All right. 809. I'm just going to write this number down real quick. All right. 809-808. Okay. That number is important. All right. So once you are signed in, okay, you just want to click on these gears, right next to your name or right next to whatever you sign in. Also, when you sign in, make sure you sign in with, or make sure you make your account with your OCC email address. All right. Click the gears, and mine says manage student sets, but yours is going to say add yourself to student set. All right. Add yourself to student set. Okay. And you're going to be prompted to enter a course ID. All right. And the course ID that you will enter is 809808. All right. I'm just going to put it in the chat also. 809-808. Okay. Now, once you're entered, once you have added yourself to this section, you'll see this. These are our assignments for this semester. And the way Inquisitive works is like this. Okay, you click on one of these things. All right. Oops. All right. I'm just going to go. Oh, as a student. All right. I'm going to read the directions very quickly. Okay, I'm gonna read that and then just pick a random answer. All right. And the way it works, when you get it wrong, okay, it'll take you right to the handbook. Just a quick, lesson about it. Then you could try it again. All right. I'm gonna pick another one at random because I don't feel like reading all this. All right, it takes you to the same thing. And then when you get it right, okay, you go next question. All right. Now, in order for a score to record for you, okay, in order for a score to record for you, you have to answer at least 10 questions. Okay. You can go beyond 10, you can keep going forever, actually, but you have to answer at least 10 for a score to be recorded for you. All right. And you can do these, at your leisure. All right. I just have the dates for these. Okay. And like I said, they're informative and they're good time savers. Or they're good additions, to the material that's on D2L. All right. So it's really just, kind of supplements, what's on D2L and what's in our textbook. All right. So again, to add yourself to the class once you have um registered yourself, or excuse me, once you have acquired the textbook, you go click the gears, add yourself to student set, and then 809, 808. All right. And good people, I think that's it. Okay. Into assignments. All right. Here's our first summary response essay. Okay. Here's the directions right here. Here's the article, and then here's an example. All right. First discussion post is there. Okay. So any questions, folks, just get at me by email. All right. I look forward to this semester. Okay. Have a great day.